From Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois, CBS Sports presents the Atlanta Falcons versus the Chicago Bears. Hi, everybody. I'm Vin Scully along with Alex Hawkins. And Hawk, Jack Pardee and the Bears have a tough problem to come back after that bitter loss to Minnesota last week.
In the overtime, that was a bad one. But if there's a guy that can bring him back, it would be Jack Pardee. I saw this man, and when he was coaching in the World Football League, take a team, finish the season, go to the World Bowl, and they hadn't been paid in 19 weeks.
He can do it, and he has a man out in the middle of the field to do it for him, and that would be quarterback Bob Avellini.
He has been a pleasant surprise. He went from virtually off the board in quarterback ratings to the number 3 passer, and he's been calling his own plays for this will be the 3rd week.
Well, Scott Hunter trying to pilot this ball club against a defensive line of Hartenstein, Osborne, Rydalch, and Newsom, with Buffon, Reeves, and Bryant along with Hillis, Livers, Fensick, and Plank. And immediately it's Don Reeves, number 57, making the hit right at the line of scrimmage. And they just about get that pass away, and here it comes. Schubert standing on his own 20-yard line. To the 25, 30, 35, across the 40, and got it out to the 43-yard line. And he was hit by Ray Easterling. Albrecht and Jackson, Pfeiffer, Sorey, and Lick. That's the front line with the receivers, Rather, Scott, and Latta. And now Bob Avellini pitching back to Roland Harper, who's across the 40, out to the 45, and spinning to the 47. It is Ray Easterling again making the hit. The ball on the Bear 47-yard line. Avellini, play action fake, and he's going to keep it. Humphrey chasing him, and he is belted out of bounds by Ron McCartney. And it's 1st and 15 as Avellini brings him out. The Bear running backs this year have been averaging just under 5 yards a carry. Avellini going to put it up. Down the middle, and it is caught by James Scott. He's across the 20 to the 15-yard line. Rick Bias was the man who finally made the hit on the Atlanta 15.
There's one of those refugees from the World Football League, James Scott. He's been the leading receiver for the Bears this year. Avellini showing the form that's brought him to the number 3 quarterback in football. Right on target with a pass. Rick Bias giving chase there. James Scott.
So now the field goal attempt, and Bob Thomas is 6 for 9 this year. And he's got it in there. 13-mile-an-hour wind. 3rd and 9. Hunter wobbles, but he gets it to Francis across the 45. And he is driven back to the 45-yard line. Wallace Francis making the reception. Jenkins left, Francis right, stand back in motion to the left. And it's a draw to Monroe Ely, and Ron Rydalch, number 76, read the play and nailed him right at the 45.
As we look at this again, watch Rydalch. He's from Twilla, Utah. You can feature that. I don't even know where Utah is, much less Twilla.
They call him Dry Gulch.
Dry Gulch?
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, he puts a stop on Stan, or Ely, rather, excuse me.
Francis right, Jenkins left, and Hunter looking left. And it's to Jenkins inside the 40-yard line. Virgil Livers, number 24, nails him at about the Chicago 39-yard line. And Francis in a slot now goes in motion to the left. Second man, Haskell, stand back inside the 30-yard line. And he was carrying, among other people, Wayman Bryant, number 50, right along with him. Francis left, Jenkins right. Second man, stand back. And he's going to the 20-yard line and falls inside the 20. Doug Plank, number 46, finally making the hit. And it'll be Roland Harper getting out to the 25-yard line. 2nd and 5 from the 25-yard line. A pitch back to Walter Payton. Payton got a good block from Roland Harper, and he got out across the 30-yard line. Roland Harper threw a marvelous block on Ralph Ortega.
Let's take a look at it, and that's what Roland Harper's there for. Chiefly is coming out of the backfield, catching the ball, and is blocking for Walter Payton. I believe it's on Greg Brazina right there. Greg having a fine year. It didn't look so good that time. Good blocking downfield there on Ray Easterling.
And 1st and 10 from the Bears 7, and here comes Walter Payton. And he got out across the 10, got a little brush block by Bo Rather, but it wasn't enough to take Ray Brown out of the play, and Ray Brown made the tackle. 1st and 10 from about the 18. Avellini to Walter Payton with Rather letting Siri and Sorey block for him, and he gets out across the 20-yard line and rolls to the 21. 2nd and 7 from the Bear 21. Avellini play action fake to Musso, and he got it away as he was hit, and it's picked off by Ray Easterling, and he's going out at the 30-yard line.
Well, you know, Jim Mitchell has not been happy with the Falcons because in years gone by, they have not gotten the ball to him as much as he should. When you got a guy with his ability, you've got to get to him. Pop passes, screens, and this year they've been doing it. Jim's a whole lot happier. He didn't want to play for the Falcons, and they talked him into it, and Lehman Bennett, he just has all the respect in the world for it. Watch him turn it up.
Staying into block, and Hunter into the end zone, broken up by Virgil Livers, and it looked like two men had the shot at it, Alfred Jenkins and Wallace Francis, but it was Virgil Livers who broke it up. Mighty Mouse, they call him.
This is just fine football. Look, the heat's on, the blitz is on, Reeves is blitzing in there, the pressure's on. Scott Hunter does exactly what he's supposed to, gets rid of it. Jenkins was open, but just a great play by Virgil Livers there.
And now Mickemeyer will be kicking with the ball spotted on the 22, so it's a 32-yard field goal attempt to get Atlanta even. Up and good.
He did it.
So Mickemeyer kicking it off. Musso will have it go over his head to Baschnagel at the 10, to the 25, to the 30, and just shy of the 34-yard line as he's finally brought down. Brian Baschnagel out of Ohio State. Harper and Payton, and it'll be Walter Payton. He has Jackson and Harper blocking for him as he gets across the 35. Noah Jackson, big number 65, had pulled to lead the way.
He's a fun player to watch. Boy, he gets it upfield. Those backs have trouble keeping up with him when he makes the turn. He's
Jackson
fast.
is 6'2", 273 pounds, and yet you use the word fast in talking about him, which shows you how far professional football has come.
Now, we haven't said too much about that offensive line of the Bears. They're a building team, too, and they're going to get there with Jack Pardee and Jim Finks. There's no doubt about that, but they're a young team. 2 and 3 years experience. They've got one rookie mixed in there. Nobody over 3 years experience in the offensive line.
From the 37, Avellini giving it to Walter Payton, and he's hit and dropped shy of the 40. And once again, the familiar figures of Ray Easterling was the first man up, and then Greg Brazina.
But I just can't say enough about the improvement in the Falcons, and I mean this. They are just so much better coached than they have been. Their whole attitude has changed. You can see it in the players and all. The attitude around the entire team is so positive now. They are finally getting it someplace.
And, of course, both Bears and Falcons trying to turn the corner, each having such an important part to play. And oddly enough, the Falcons, with 3 and 2, have a lot to do with how the Bears will wake up in the next couple of weeks, playing Minnesota and Detroit. And Walter Payton is hit at the 40 and driven back. And at the very bottom was big Wilson Fomina, the big Samoan, number 74.
You ever notice that nobody on the Falcons, they don't have any history. Everything has been negative and everything has been bad. Nobody's ever had a nickname for anybody. So let's call him a chief and get it started off.
All right, and Walter Payton having a tough go against Atlanta. Of course, he had a tough time last year against them. That is to say, for a running back of his caliber. 4th and 5 from the 38. So Parsons will be doing the punting from his 26. Gets a little bit of heat, and it is blocked by Moriarty. Moriarty blocked it, and Parsons downs the ball at the 25. And are the Atlanta Falcons happy about it? We'll see just how happy now as Nick Mickemeyer trying to kick out of a hold by Johnny James. They'll spot the ball at the 29. It's a 39-yard field goal attempt, and it is good.
Oh.
And Mickemeyer really pounded that thing out of sight. Avellini has Rather in a slot inside James Scott to the left. Latta, the tight end, on the right side. And here comes Payton on a draw. And he picked up a couple. Avellini to Payton. And Payton across the 30-yard line. Right now, play in 1st and 10 from the Atlanta 27. And it's Haskell Standback, who was hit but refused to believe it and got out across the 30-yard line. Jenkins left, Francis right, stand back again. Pile driving, and it would appear he's got his first down. Hunter with his back split, which is usually a passing formation, and the back stay into block. Hunter got it to guess who? Jim Mitchell, and that's it. Hunter looking right and throws intended for Wallace Francis. Doug Buffon, number 55, broke it up. Buffon, by the way, in starting today, has now started in 147 consecutive games. We mentioned he's the only remaining Bear who had played under George Halas. Avellini, a little flip to Roland Harper, but Ray Brown read it, and he gets away from Brown and is still on his feet and goes out of bounds as Rick Bias finally threw a diving block to knock him out, but Ray Brown had him, and Roland Harper got away.
Defensed it perfectly, the Falcons did. Just a missed tackle over there, and we'll say an excellent effort by Roland Harper breaking the tackle. Watch this. Brown is there in good position. You don't see him miss. He's a pretty sure tackler. One of the outstanding safeties in football. Not that time. Not only a good job of breaking the tackle, but keeping it in bounds. And Noah Jackson in heavy pursuit. He's got speed, but not that much. Harper really has been a reliable player for the Bears.
1st and 10. Avellini throwing to James Scott with 3 Bears in front of him. And Scott on the move is knocked out of bounds at the 31-yard line of Atlanta.
Watch the sidearm delivery this time by Bob Avellini. There's an arm up in his direct path. Watch how he sidearms it out there. Good rush by Humphrey there. This guy can fly. Good blocking out in front there by Sorey. Number 69 for the Bears.
Scott Hunter is trying to take his club into the clubhouse and leading at halftime. Esposito, Rocky, is wrapped up at the 10-yard line, and the big guy, Mike Hartenstein, hit him and dropped him.
Hartenstein, a relatively high draft choice a couple of years for him. They expected great things from him, but he really hadn't produced that much. Let's hope he shows some. That's been their problem. Their defensive ends have just not afforded the pass rush they want, and that's been the weakness in the Bears team.
They say he may be the strongest defensive end in the National Football League.
That's what I've heard.
All right, 1st and 10 from the Bear 24-yard line. Avellini sending Scott wide left, Rather right. Passing to Rather. He's hit by Roland Lawrence and dropped at the 40-yard line. 1st down, Chicago.
I believe that's what he said. I think I'll come out, and if I had my druthers, I'd rather complete it to Bo. Avellini comes out gunning. A short, quick one over the middle. Just a little slant pattern.
2nd man, Walter Payton. And a fumble, a loose ball picked up by Roland Lawrence, grabbed and dragged down at the 30-yard line. And if that play goes, and apparently it will, Atlanta again in marvelous field position. Francis right, Jenkins left, and it's Haskell stand back inside, a great block by Warren Bryant, and he's down to the 12 before Doug Plank brings him down. The backs are split. We'll see if he passes out of it. He does to Jim Mitchell, and he is dragged out of bounds by Gary Fensick at the 4-yard line. So it's a 21-yard field goal attempt. He has kicked 2. And this one is up and through. And 1st and 10 from his own 13 as Avellini brings him out. Play action fake to Harper, then to Payton. And now Avellini's going to run to the 20 and across the 25. Ray Brown, along with Robert Pennywell, Ortega, finally bringing him down.
I do like Bob Avellini. He didn't run until the last second, but watch how he can't find any open receivers. Rather than throw it up for grabs, tucks it under and runs. And you can tell he doesn't favor the running, but look how he protects himself. Gets in that, slides on the carpet there, gets in that fetal position, and the quarterbacks that stay healthy all do it.
Latta, the tight end on the right side, and here's Roland Harper. Payton blocks out Lawrence, but Lawrence doesn't quit, and he comes back to finally get in on the tackle, along with Ortega and Easterling. By 11 over Cincinnati. Walter Payton dragged down by Roland Lawrence. They have been sputtering offensively. Avellini looking to Johnny Musso, and Musso bumps into his own man, Reevy Sorey, and that slows him up, and Wilson Fomina brings him down.
Good speed. Wilson's got good speed. He's got good lateral movement. He's a strong kid, too. Let's watch him. Takes that outside charge that time. Look at how he gets in a pursuit pattern. Now, that's just a rookie. No penetration, went straight down laterally down the line like he's supposed to.
Francis wide left, and Jenkins split the other way. Francis in motion. Monroe Ely finds a hole, carries out to about the 34-yard line. Mitchell is on the right side. Monroe Ely with a block by Standback across the 40-yard line for the first down. They finally recovered a miracle. Scott Hunter passing on first down. Little release to Monroe Ely to midfield, and Gary Fensick finally brings him down at the Bear 45. First and 10 from the Bear 8. Avellini looking over the middle to Rather, and he's got him at the 18 or 19-yard line. Roland Lawrence brought him down. Bo Rather making the reception. Play action fake to Harper. And Avellini throws low, and it's grabbed by Harper at the 25-yard line. Roland had almost dropped to his knees to make the reception. Avellini, the left side, and a great reception by James Scott. After a couple of drops, he made a beauty and a first down.
Yes, he did. A perfect throw, and a nice job of him coming back and staying in bounds and making the reception there. Avellini, Chicago Bears making a good adjustment. Falcons offensive line stunning a good bit there. And look at this catch. Perfect coverage, but you can't have perfect coverage against a perfectly thrown pass.
To Scott again, and Bias spins him around and knocks him down. So Bob Avellini has now completed 10 out of 19.
Falcons in a 5-man front.
Big quick hitter by Roland Harper, and he goes driving out, and that'll be the first down. Musso is back there with Walter Payton. Avellini, little side, and he's picked off easily. And Roland Lawrence just takes it out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Monroe Ely across the 40, carrying people to about the 43. First and 10 from the 13. So Avellini just had nothing to work with all day. And here goes Walter Payton. He's got Reeve Sorey in front of him, and he's out of bounds inside the 20, and there's a flag on the play. Noah Jackson arguing and had something quickly to say as the flag was thrown.
It's got to be frustrating for the Bears, though. They just can't seem to put it. Watch Noah Jackson. Oh, he didn't. They missed a penalty on Noah that time. He was pushing and shoving. Well, look at that. Look at the balance that guy's got. It's all there. I guess he did hit him a little bit out of bounds, didn't he?
He did. First and 10 on the Bear 36. This time it's Roland Harper. It's out to about the 43. Harper is an interesting guy, although you can't tell with that face mask. His front tooth is a gold tooth with a star in it.
Oh, sister. Yeah. Sister gave it to him. There's Harper. Look at the blocking foreman out in front. That's good. They're not out of this game. They could win this 10-9, and Jack Pardee is not a guy to panic. They're sitting there getting the sustained drive. They've still got 9 minutes to play.
First and 10 on their own 46-yard line. Avellini faking, then throwing to Latta, and it is intercepted by Ray Easterling. First and 10 from the Chicago 21. Payton, the deep man, out of the eye. And Waller goes bouncing through across the 25. 5:11 left in the game. Great catch by Greg Latta. Boy, the big tight end had to climb a ladder, and he did it. Slot left with Schubert inside Scott. Walter Payton carries across the 40 and is very close to a first down.
Well, little by little, he's piling up the yardage.
Well, he went about 8 yards on that carry. Right up, see officially.
Right up the dead center. You see the blocking there? number 69, Sorey threw a key block there, and Pfeiffer, who is an excellent center. He's just done a great job for him. He was a real find.
Steve Schubert all alone on the Bear 20. And they barely got it away. A big rush. Schubert going back to his own 10, drops it, is taken out of the play. The ball is still loose, and Esposito picked it up and dropped it. It'll be blown dead back on the 10-yard line, and I believe it will be Atlanta ball on the Chicago 10. Lost the mascot. Well, they only had 26 seconds to go. Hunter giving it to Stanback, and he goes in for the touchdown. So Haskell Stanback drives in for the only touchdown of the day. That's Brian Bassnagel, and he's going to go the distance. Brian Bassnagel takes the kickoff and runs for a touchdown.
For the veteran poetic justice, I give up. We wait all afternoon
For a
3
touchdown.
hours for a touchdown, and we get one with 21 seconds, 5 seconds remaining.
Here's Bassnagel's return.
And the most unlikely person you would think to take a kickoff back that distance for a touchdown, perhaps on the Bear team.
Walter Scheid just cruising along behind him with no one to block as Bassnagel takes it in for the touchdown. And down he goes, and that should be that. Well, our thanks to Alex Hawkins, to our statistician, Dr. Bob Woods. This is Vin Scully posting the final for you. Atlanta 16, Chicago 10, and a somewhat sullen and mutinous crowd on their way home here from Soldier Field in Chicago. Kind of a dismal day, 45-degree temperature, and the lights have been on, and now they can turn them out. And we'll turn them out, too. We'll take you to CBS Sports Control.
In their first 5 games of the season, the Atlanta Falcons gave up only 2 touchdowns. Last week in Chicago, number 84, Brian Bassnagel of the Bears, made it 3 in 6 games. Unfortunately for the Bears, this 84-yard play came with just 5 seconds left, and the Bears trailing by 16-3. The Falcon defense had done its job earlier and still ranks number 1 in the NFL for fewest points yielded, 32. Coach Lehman Bennett's defensive philosophy is simple. Don't allow more than 3 yards per running play. And when the opponent is forced to pass, come at him with a variety of pass rushers. Linemen, linebackers, safeties, and even cornerbacks. Against the Bears, the Falcons had 4 sacks and forced 5 turnovers. And as a result, they continue to share first place with the Rams in the NFC West. But even Coach Bennett wonders if he can continue to win with such low scores.